folks, Papa Boris here, playing some more altered trading card game. We just did Bravos, and we're skipping Lyra, so let's move on to Muna. And see what my opponent's doing. Probably Bravos or Ortis. Ah, it's Ortis. Okay, well, Ortis the Tortoise. I'm back at it. Let's see what we got in our opening hand here. I don't like this card. I think I just don't like it. So we're going to mulligan it. And this thing I don't really like either. A 4/4/4 is not that great. And yes, then it's a 4/4/4 for 3 coming out of reserve, but who cares? Now, Daughter of Yggdrasil I'm definitely a big fan of. I'm willing to go behind in order to get these huge stats. The question is, do I keep this Nurture? Because I keep always keeping Nurture and then just like never playing it. So do I mulligan this, or do I mulligan one of these Junkos? I mean, I could play this on turn 1 along with the Kitsune, try to steal 2 moves. You know what, I'm going to pass the Nurture back. I'm just so tired of it. I keep keeping it and then just like not using it. I think it makes more sense to just take it and use it when I actually like can get value from it later in the game. If I don't get it early on, then there's no point trying to force it. All right, so a weird move. So with Kitsune, I'm not actually stopping this token from moving. So if I like try to play the Spindle Harvesters here and my opponent beats it here, and then I play Kitsune to beat the Spirit here, then my opponent moves twice and I move not at all. So what I think I'm going to do instead is just kind of tie and slightly beat this token off of the 1 forest. And then I can see what my opponent does and decide if I want to play Kitsune at all. Like if my opponent plays like a giant 3-drop here, or plays the Ortis Landmark. Ah, okay. Well, that's clever. So now Kitsune can go here and move, but my opponent will still move. And then over here, yeah. So the right move then is to go here. Luckily, the 2 forest is blocking these 2 tokens, 2 forests, and then the Kitsune moves. So we each move once. Yeah, I guess that's fine. So my opponent starts with a 1/1/1 next turn. I start with a 2/1/1, so I'm a little bit ahead. We each moved once. Card-wise, I played 2 cards. My opponent played 1, but my card is anchored, but now my card is going into the reserve. So if I don't play the Kitsune this turn, then it's a little awkward since my reserve will fill. We got anchored. That could be effective on the daughter next turn. And we have Inari. Now if I play Inari, then my reserve fills up. Same with Muna Druid. This would be good to play though, because then I could activate it on Yggdrasil next turn. Okay. So I could play the Muna Druid. The issue is that if I do that, my reserve fills up. But the advantage is that I could play Yggdrasil next turn, throw her out of the reserve to buff the Daughter of Yggdrasil, and then I could also play the Meditation Training. Well, no, then what am I doing? It's weird. Like, I guess next turn I'd be playing Yggdrasil, tossing this away, and playing this thing. So I'm going to let this get trashed. Okay. That means... God, I feel like throwing this away, though, is just bad. A 3/1/3 for 3 is pretty bad, but it's a 4/2/4, which is okay, and then it costs 2 coming out of reserve. Do I really need this to just keep this on the board forever? All right, we'll try it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I can't remember if Ortis has spot removal. If it does, that'll be kind of bad, but we'll see what happens. So my opponent has to go first, and they just... Oh, they're sabotaging. Oh my gosh, I don't care. Like, I didn't really care that much about Kitsune, and now it means that my thing doesn't fill up. Okay, that is fine then. So we're going to go ahead and choose carefully. Where do I play this? I am just barely beating here, basically by 1. My opponent has 1 mana. I should be fine. I'm going to risk it. Yeah, we'll go for it. So I'm just barely blocking my opponent and moving myself. So let's see if my opponent has a good 1-drop. They don't. Okay, so they played this, which is, you know, it's understated and it was most of their mana. So they got rid of a card and got card advantage. But I am moving in both lanes. So that's fine. So I'm 2 steps ahead. I am behind 1 card. I'm about to get behind another card because I'm playing this. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Target character 3 less gains anchored. And then the next character you play gets a boost. And then it's cheaper than this one coming out of the reserve. Alright, well that makes it easy. I don't think I want to keep 2 of them. I already have 2 anchoring effects for this daughter. I don't think I need a third. Oh my god, there's 2 daughters. Oops, I didn't notice this. This maybe isn't good. Well, any hoodles. So what am I doing this turn? Am I playing this? Awkwardly, if I play the daughter and then I play this, my reserve does fill up, and now it's like, well, maybe I don't want it to. On the other hand, this thing isn't very impressive because it provides forest, which is irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, I don't want my reserve to fill up. So I think what I am going to do is play this just to get it out of the hand. We'll play it here just to block the opponent's token and see where my opponent wants to commit their energy. My other turn in this game, I'm pretty much locked in. I'm going to be playing the daughter. Okay, so my opponent did all of this. Water is the daughter of Yggdrasil's weak stat, so I'm going to let my opponent move in that lane, and we're just going to clinch the lane here. Or so I'm hoping. All right, Kokoba is getting big stats. So my opponent actually blocked us both from moving here, and they're going to move here, so they're going to catch up. That's sad. But okay, we do what we got to do. So I'm kind of taking on the control role here where I'm falling behind on the board. But I'm getting the value because I have a 5-5-3 here next time. One problem, of course, with playing this was that while it is cool for it to get the bonus and possibly be relevant, you know, if you don't get your bonus on this, then it's irrelevant if it's not in forest. It means that my anchored daughter is not bonused. All right, Parvati, target character gains anchor. Hey! Okay, so oh, I hate you. Okay, this is easy. I hate this card very much, so we're gonna just put it in for mana. I mean, I have a lot of stuff here. I am threatening to win this. Granted, okay, no, I'm not because of that, but I am blocking my opponent from moving, and I am threatening to move here. So my opponent's first. Let's see what they want to do. They can play this and Kokoba. That seems like what they're probably gonna do, right? Because this provides the token, so Kokoba gets the buff. I'll probably just play the meditation training onto the daughter to pass with my mana and force my opponent to make 2 card plays before I decide if I'm going to play this thing or this thing. Oh man, this is actually kind of weird though, isn't it? Because if I play this to give it anchored, she has no desert, so she's not helping me move here, and she's not stopping my opponent from moving there. All right, you know what? I'm just going to play her here. This is fine. We're going to play her here. We're going to anchor the daughter. And my thinking is that now my opponent can win one lane with Kokoba, but then I win the other lane with whatever I have in those lanes, so it's fine. If my opponent plays Kokoba here, my Dinky 2 Desert, thanks to the 2 boosts from my Muna hero, do stop these 2 tokens from moving, so I'm fine with it. And my opponent, of course, might be worried if they drop Kokoba here that I'll have some trick up my sleeve. Unfortunately, I don't have a trick up my sleeve, but that's fine. I mean, I could actually just play this on Parvati, right? Like, why not? Okay, so Kokoba's going there. It is going to crunch through. Yeah, let's do this. I am going to... Oh, no, I can't! Because its hand costs 3 or less and she's a 4. Oops. Crud. Well, crud, I really missed that. All right, we're going to pass. This is a little sad, but she is only 3 coming out of reserve, which is nice. And I am still a step ahead, and my opponent hasn't done the typical Orda stuff. There's no landmarks, there's no Jones, so they're not generating that, you know, goody Ordis value. We got Beauty Sleep to try to sneak it in. I'm going to get rid of these. These are sort of janky. Yeah, we're probably going to just play Parvati and continue anchoring this daughter. Or I could play this daughter and then Parvati her because she's going to have a boost. Actually, Daughter of Yggdrasil is really strong in this lane because this lane, neither I nor my opponent have water, which is the weak stat of this character. And Kokoba has finally gone. Now, my opponent at 7 mana could, of course, generate some tokens and play another Kokoba. With his hero power, they only need to generate, you know, 2 characters to get Kokoba online, as it were. But that's fine. I mean, I've still got this. And yeah, I think I'll play I think I gotta commit here. I'm gonna daughter up over here. so that I get the boost from Muna onto the Daughter of Yggdrasil, and then I can give this Anchor. Now, the risk is if my opponent has a Sabotage card, they can throw out Parvati. Which, okay, I mean, that's sad. But on the other hand, I've still got the meditation training. Hello? Everything okay? All right, cool. All right, no problem. Sorry, that was my stepson doing some laundry here in the basement. So let's see. My opponent is, well, they got a big hand. How do they have a huge hand? Holy crap! They have 7 cards. Now I have, 3 if you add up my reserve and my hand. Okay, let's count everything. This is 5, and my opponent has 7. So I'm 2 cards behind, which makes sense. I've played 2 Daughters of Yggdrasil, but I am a step ahead. I am ahead on the board. I'm basically trying to close this out before this nonsense overwhelms me. And I'm really hoping at this point that this hand includes things like, Joan, or like the landmarks that are expensive and give long-term value, because if my opponent goes for that game, then I should be able to close out before they get their value machine online. All right, what are you? Okay, so this is turning on another Kokoba if my opponent were to have that. I think I'm just going to keep it super simple here. We're going to play Parvati here. Oh, this is actually kind of weird because, hang on a second. So over here, the water and the forest are very good at stopping my opponent from moving, but they're not good at helping me move. And I'm only winning by 2. My opponent still has 4 mana. But what's the point of playing it here? Here I'm just demolishing my opponent. Okay, yeah, we're going to play Parvati here, and we're going to anchor this Daughter of Yggdrasil. And I don't think I'm going to play Beauty Sleep this turn, because I really want to play Beauty Sleep the turn that I win. Sneak out the last mana and win, and then the fact that the creature starts the next turn on the board is irrelevant. So what I'm hoping happens here is that I just win this lane, and next turn I can win both lanes. I'll be playing this Daughter who will go to the reserve for the first time ever. She'll have a bonus. Hopefully I draw something relevant, and then I Beauty Sleep a big, like, Kokoba, let's say, for the win. Now, alternatively, if my opponent does play something really huge, I could Beauty Sleep it now, then I move in both lanes, and then I need to just move in one lane next turn to win. That maybe is a safer approach, right? Like, what's my opponent really going to do if I pile drive this lane with 2 Daughters of Yggdrasil, right? And I also will still have this in reserve. Granted, it'll cost 3 energy at that point, and it'll be face up, so my opponent will know about it. Maybe that's actually smarter. Maybe if my opponent does play like a 3-drop or a 4-drop, I should Beauty Sleep it to win both lanes. It's just scary if my opponent has, let's say, like a 3-drop, and then I Beauty Sleep it, and then they, like, play some sort of 1-mana thing. Like, I don't remember, does Ortis have Beauty Sleep? I think not. I think it's just Ysmir that has Beauty Sleep. So if I play this and then I don't win both lanes, that would be sort of cataclysmic. Okay, so my opponent's really thinking about this. Really thinking about it. They're going deep into the tank, pondering which of their 6 cards needs to go down. Okay, I think I'm going to pause the recording here because I'm not 100% sure my opponent hasn't rage quit, so pausing. Okay, they had not rage quit. They really were just thinking, and they played this. Okay, so they're still not moving here, but they blocked me from moving, and I'm not going to Beauty Sleep. I think that I am going to pass here. With 2 energy, my opponent, I don't think, can stop me from winning this lane. Water's my weak stat, but they can't move off of water, and they're not gonna beat 4 stats. Unless there's some really crazy thing. Okay, so they're just playing this, which is whatever. I don't care about this. Did it make them move? It didn't make them move. So I don't know what that was. The reserve is filled up. I don't know why they played these 2 cards, actually. If they wanted to play one, just to play one and put it in the reserve, they could have just played that one and not the other one, unless of course they care about playing this again. It's hard to say. All right, so they decided to just throw this away, which I go, no, this was relevant. I see. So they played this to stop me from moving, and then they played this to get it into the reserve. But I don't know. I mean, this isn't any different in the reserve than it is in the hand. And obviously they're not going to be playing permanents at this stage. So I'm not sure what they're doing. Okay, we've got nurture, which is extremely significant. This is incredible value. And then we got junk. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. And at this point, I think I'm probably going to just play the Daughter of Yggdrasil here. And ah, man, I really wish, you know, maybe I should have probably actually kept that one drop. Shoot, I messed up. Because as junky as it is, look at my hand. I got the nurture, I got this, which doesn't matter. I could play this just for the hell of it to, you know, if I don't win this turn, so I can win next turn, kind of a thing. Okay. I think we'll just play the Daughter of Yggdrasil because there's no drawback coming out of the reserve. It's just a 5/5/3 for 3, which is insane. It also gets a boost, so we have 2 6 6 4s. These boosts are just the gift that keeps on giving. And let's just see what my opponent's gonna do. I mean, let's just not overthink it. I'm currently threatening to win both lanes with a huge stat advantage. My opponent does have a giant fistful of cards and 7 mana. So my plan here is nurture twice for 3, and then beauty sleep and win. That is, of course, contingent on my opponent not having removal for 3 drops. And I can't remember if my opponent, if Ortis has that card that discards a hand, or a card with a hand cost of 3 or less. Oh, okay, what are you? Create 4/4. Oh my god. Okay. This is really scary because they could now play charge. And charge would effectively give them 5/5 for 2 mana, which even a Daughter of Yggdrasil cannot handle. Also, it is invulnerable to beauty sleep. So that was smart. What I'm gonna do here is put on meditation training on my Daughter of Yggdrasil over here, because she's got so this is the one with fleeting. So this is the one I want to make sure stays in hand. The idea behind that is my opponent now needs to play charge and show me that they have it. They have it. Okay, that's totally fine. So now that they have the charge, they are going to stop me from moving here, and they're going to move here themselves, obviously. But I win this lane. And in fact, I can even do one better. I can just play this card. So I played it twice, which was just disgusting. And so this Daughter of Yggdrasil now is anchored. So I got both of them anchored for the next turn, and I am still moving in this lane. I'm obviously not going to beauty sleep. So again, unless my opponent draws into some removal for one or both of these, I think I should at this point have it pretty clinched. Oh, they have... Oh, wait a minute. They have... Oh, this goes into the reserve. God, you know, no matter how long I play this game, I just keep forgetting that spells go into the reserve. So my opponent could do the same thing. They could play this... Oh, they tossed it. Okay. Because they could have another charge. Charge has fleeting because it's so strong. But they could have another charge in hand, and they could have played it again. But I guess they saw, well, the writing's on the wall. If I just use that to pile drive and win a lane, then my opponent moves the other lane and it's over. Do I need to discard anything for mana here? Let's see. Okay, so 8. What is this? 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to get rid of Inari. So the idea here is that I just nurture twice and then beauty sleep once. Of course, if my opponent does have removal, then it gets pretty awkward. Like, if my opponent removes both of these, I left myself with no creatures. Yes, I should have kept Inari. I just totally biffed it. That was a mistake. Again, I don't remember what kind of removal my opponent has, but I should have kept a creature in case both of these got taken off the board. Alright, we're just frog princing like crazy. Nature and nurture. Bringing it home. So, do you have the removal, my friend? Do you have... I don't think you're going to remove both of these. I don't think you're going to remove both of these with 2 mana. So this is good. Daughters of Yggdrasil. Fall behind on cards. Win on the board. God, am I just like auditioning every single catchphrase I can think of? Nature and nurture. Fall behind on cards. Win on the board. Okay, so we're going to do this because it's not, I don't think it's bad manners because my opponent still technically has mana. So let's just, you know, make sure that we're up 10-10-8 against 0-0-0 over here for the win. And that's a good game. Good game, everybody. Or what am I talking about? Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.